I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 488th episode of the Political Spotlight. I, as always, am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. It's good to be here. It's good to spend a little bit of time with you. Thank you for being here. Whether you're here live or here via replay, we thank you. Producer Kate is here making sure that the controls are working smoothly. However, she is not making sure that this thing is working, and I don't understand what the hell is... Who changed this? No one should have changed this, but something changed, and I don't like it. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. Welcome. Shoo! Today was a scorcher. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to cover. We've got a lot of crazy things that should just absolutely about push you to the edge of complete insanity. I don't know if it pushes you to the edge of sanity and one more push would make you insane, or if it pushes you to the edge of insanity. I don't know. Either one, it's not good. Either way, you can't get fooled again. That's the saying. Okay. The thing is, we got a lot of things to talk about, but before we get there, I need to finish doing what I was doing. Sorry, we were just a few minutes late. It's 9:12 p.m. Eastern, obviously. I was on the phone with someone that was giving me some information that I could not get off the phone from. I needed to get this information, so that's why we're late. Give me just a few moments, and we're gonna be back square. That will give you, this brief little intermission will give you, my amazing, wonderful, lovely, intelligent, smart, good-looking audience. It will give you the opportunity to hit that thumbs up. Give us your thumb. Whoop, give us the thumb. Give us the finger. Do whatever you want to do. Like us, love us. Want some more of us? Comment if you're so inclined. Share the show with everyone you know, whether you want to or not. That is the commandment we are giving to you here. Share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. I'm going to let you know while we're waiting. We're going to be talking about a couple of different things. We're going to be talking about Prairie Creek and some changes that are coming to Prairie Creek. We're going to be talking about the City of Muncie Parks Board meeting that just occurred just a little bit ago. It started at 6 o'clock and it wrapped up about an hour ago. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Mayor Dan Ridenour's comments from January 10th that, of course, we kind of fell into at the end of last night's show, and it's been a whole big thing all day long, so we'll talk about that. We're going to be talking about that, of course. But then we are also going to be talking about Grant County. Grant County. They're back in our orbit, and we're going to be talking about what's going on up in there, and that's a crazy thing. We're going to be talking about Dustin Clark a little bit, and then we might wrap up with a little bit of Madison County / Anderson. So we're going to be talking all over the board, all over East Central Indiana and Central Indiana today. So you know it, you love it. I'm sure you have some friends or family in those areas, or you live in those areas. And the thing that we always tell you here is whether or not we're specifically talking about what's going on in your neck of the woods, it doesn't matter because it's all the same. And basically the laws and things are the same throughout the state of Indiana. So as long as you live somewhere in Indiana's 92 counties, what we're going to be talking about should have relevance to you. And if you live outside of Indiana, things may be different, but it's still the basic idea. So bear with me here for just one moment as I fix this real quick. Okay, got that fixed. Let's see. Prairie Creek Reservoir, City of Muncie Parks Board Meeting. Mayor Dan Ridenour's hot mic moment. Grant County Commissioner Chuck Polling is back at it. That's kind of crazy. He's doing some weirdness. And then Anderson, Madison County. We're going to put that on there because we might get to that. We're going to put Dustin Clark, because we might get to that. And lastly, some Winchester City Council behind the scenes. We might move that around. So, okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me make sure the glasses are clean, and then we'll get straight at it. Let me see who we get going on here. We're going to start, ladies and gentlemen, with the Prairie Creek Reservoir. Well, no. Actually, we're going to start with the City of Muncie Parks Board meeting, and that will lead into the Prairie Creek Reservoir. So how many of you, if I could ask, have any of you watched the City of Muncie Parks Board? Did any of you watch the City of Muncie Parks Board meeting that just occurred? The meeting started at 6 p.m. and it just wrapped up at about 7:30, 7:45, somewhere like it around in there. If any of you watched it, you're probably a little confused. Now, my question, okay, to those that watched it, Alice says he watched it. My question is, did you watch both sections, or did you watch just section 1 or just section 2? What did you watch? So did you know that there were 2 sections? And if not, we're going to talk. That's what we're going to be talking about here. So I got a phone call. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Alva says, why was it cut up? Why is it in 2 sections? That's a good question that folks need to be asking. So I received a phone call last week from a source with inside the City of Muncie Parks Department, that organization that is the Parks Department. And I was told that it would probably be something that I would want to do, to watch, to either be in the audience or at least be watching live the City of Muncie Parks Board meeting that took place today, July 16th, Tuesday, 2025. And I said, okay, I can do it. I can do it. So I zoomed into the park board meeting, and I quickly realized that there were very, very few people in the audience. And I looked for a couple of specific people that I thought that I would see, but I didn't see them. So I thought, well, maybe nothing's going to happen, and maybe this isn't that big of a deal. So I was like, I guess I won't go there. I will just watch it. But I was kind of in the area, and so I was like, if something crazy pops off, I can pop in there and take part. So I was doing some things, as one does around that time at 6 p.m. I'll tell you what I was doing. I was driving around the properties of the woman from last night's, from the meeting that we watched. I was driving around her properties. Number one, I wanted to look at them and see what, condition her condition was in. And number two, I wanted to, hopefully maybe she would be there, because if she was there, I wanted to talk to her. And I wanted to find out if she knew that she drives the mayor nuts. I wanted to ask her that specifically. So I drove by 1022 East Kirby. And for my grandparents that are watching, if you guys didn't go by that house, because I know that they were interested too, if you guys didn't drive by it, Grandpa will know right where this is. It's right down from the house. One time he drove us by there, and he said that was the first house that they stayed in when he came up here as a little kid. So it's right across the street from that first house that they ever stayed in, where Grandpa's dad walked across the street to work. That's where it's at, FYI. So that's a message directly to my grandpa. So that's where it's at. So I drove by there. And then I drove by the duplex on Howard Street, the 426 and 428. And the house on Hackley, not Hackley, the house on Kirby, the 1020, 1022, 1028 address on Hackley, or Kirby. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's in the area of Hackley. They're at Kirby. It's not in good shape. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But it's no worse than any other house in the area that is vacant. So I'll say that. It's not like it's like, nice, and then her property is just a horrible shithole. That's not like that. Driving to Howard Street, they're really working on bringing Howard Street back. They're really working. I give those people in that area credit for the work they're trying to do, the land bank or whoever's involved with all of that. And there are, on that street, there are houses where like a house has been rehabbed and it's like for rent, or there's people living in one house. Then there's like a vacant house. Then there's like a house that's being currently remodeled. Then like 2 vacant houses. And then there's like a row, like 3 or 4 people live in a house. So it's like a whole mishmash. Now that house is not bad at all. I mean, when I say it, yeah, it needs new doors and windows, and it probably could use a coat of paint. Do it. Do it. That's what Ridenour said. Do it. He said that under his breath. We'll get to that in a bit. But it's not the worst house in the area again. So, like, they gave this lady a lot of shit for not a lot. I mean, for no real reason. And in the grand scheme of things, I mean, she's had them for 2 years. People seem like that seems like a long time. But to get, to get permits and to go through the government and jump through the different hoops, it's not a whole lot. It's not crazy. I mean, there are people that are on these lists that have had houses, in this bad condition for 5 or plus more years, so just FYI, okay? It's not the worst thing. So timing issues. Of course he does. Of course he does. But it's not just that. He just doesn't like any of us. I'm not black. I'm not Mexican. I'm not Korean like Catherine, or Filipino or whatever she is. But he doesn't like you, and I know who timing issues is, and he doesn't like you either. He don't like any of us. We are all below him. And so, yeah, that's the thing. So it's probably, I don't know that it's racism. I don't know that it's racism so much as it is he's scared of people of color. And that's exactly correct, Jeremy. That is an actual statement. And we will talk about that here in a bit. So I was kind of zooming around these houses. I had my phone down in the seat next to me. I was listening to the park board meeting, and it was, it was a regular Muncie City Park Board meeting. Nothing to see here. We're not doing anything. There's nothing going on here. What's going on here? There's nothing going on here. And so we were watching it, seeing it, doing what it is that we do with that. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty much a boring park meeting. I didn't think anything about this. It wasn't a big deal. So I was like, we'll just listen to what these people have to say. So what interests me is, like some of you, I was watching this Muncie Parks Board meeting. And this you'll notice, it's 33 minutes and 14 seconds. Okay, so the meeting gets started.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now listen.
Before we do the roll call, I would like to read a brief statement and make an acknowledgement, and then have a moment of silence for a athlete that participated in the Ironman this past weekend and unfortunately passed away. This statement was from the Ironman 7.3 of Muncie, shared on their social media and on the line. It is with great sadness to share the passing of a race participant who competed in this past weekend's Ironman Muncie Triathlon. During the swim portion of Sunday's race, water safety personnel recognized the athlete requiring medical attention. The athlete was attended to and provided immediate medical care by water safety personnel before being transported to the nearby hospital for further treatment. The athlete sadly passed away Monday. Our deepest sympathies are with the family and friends of the athlete, and we continue to offer them our support as they go through a very difficult time. Our gratitude goes to the water safety personnel and first responders for their quick work in assisting the athlete. Had a good event, but unfortunately did have a medical issue with the passing away of an athlete. So I want to just take a brief moment, recognize him and his family as they're dealing with that currently. Thank you.
All right, I want to pause here just for a second. That sounded wonderful. This was read by the park board president, Brad Marshall. This was just about 6:02 p.m. So this 6:02 p.m., 7, 8, 9. So this was just a little over 3.5 hours ago that he read this statement. Okay. You'll also note that Jeremy Dye coming on here and stealing my thunder. You'll also note that I, too, read from the man's newspaper, like his hometown newspaper. If you watched the show last night, I named him. It's in his hometown newspaper. I forget what the newspaper's called. The local news from Iowa, Wisconsin. Former Iowan dies following triathlon. An accident during the triathlon in Indiana over the weekend claimed the life of former Iowan Dr. Eric Wolf Monday. We got the name and everything. Dr. Eric Wolf was a native of Iowa, died Monday, July 14th. Although the event was Saturday the 12th, today is the 16th. After an accident competing in an Ironman. I read you all through that last night. Nobody else had heard anything about this. Then I see live from WTHR at 3 p.m. this afternoon, athlete brain dead and on life support after competing in the Muncie Triathlon. So here we say, officials said water safety personnel noticed an athlete needed medical attention during Saturday's swimming portion of the triathlon. Ironman officials said that an athlete died after competing in a Muncie triathlon over the weekend. The swimming portion of the Ironman triathlon took place Saturday, July 12th at Prairie Creek Reservoir in Selma, Indiana. According to the Facebook post, Tuesday, July 15th, officials said water safety personnel noticed an athlete needed medical attention during Saturday's swim portion. Water safety personnel immediately provided medical care to the athlete, and medics transported the athlete to nearby hospital for treatment. Officials said the athlete died Monday, July 14th, but Delaware County Coroner Gavin Green reached out to Channel 13 News to confirm that the athlete had not yet died. Like, wait, is he dead? Is he not dead? What is going on? What's happening? How do we not know this? It's a pretty big distinction. You know, it's a pretty big deal. You're either dead or you're not dead. Although the athlete has lost all brain function, the athlete's family is working with the Indiana Donors Network to donate the athlete's organs, so the athlete remains on life support at this time. So now we understand what's going on. So the man is not dead. Technically, I mean, the doctors are considering him by all stretch of the imagination, everything medical, the man is gone. But they are keeping his organs alive and in good condition so they can harvest his organs and treat other people. Our deepest sympathies are with the family and friends of the athlete, and we will continue to offer them support as they go through this very difficult time. Officials wrote in the post, our gratitude goes out to the water safety personnel and the first responders for their quick work in assisting the athletes. So correction we have to do here on the program, because we read from the local newspaper from his hometown, the Iloan News or whatever it was, that Dr. Eric Wolf has not officially passed away, that he, to my knowledge, at this point in time, is still on life support, and that family will make the decision at the time when they can do what they need to do with the donor association. And I got to say, as a doctor, the man's a doctor, I'm sure he was, signed up to be an organ donor. That's a very brave and courageous thing, and he's going to help. It sounds like this man who's not from Wisconsin is actually going to help Hoosiers who are in need of these various portions that they'll be able to, donate. And so that's a really amazing thing. So my thoughts and prayers go out to him, his family, everyone making this horrible decision. I hate this for them. It's a thing. And there's people out there making this something more than what it is. Listen, he was engaging in a triathlon, 70.3 miles of swimming, biking, running. It happened while he was in the swim portion. This happens. It happens frequently in events like this, and it's just part of, they know that going into it. And, so we just pray for the best there and hope everything for them. And it's a sad event, but I don't think that there's any, ulterior situation going on here. I just think there's a lot of confusion on what was going on. I do think it's kind of odd that the city of Muncie and no one else was saying anything about this up until the point that, I got the thing from the Iloan newspaper and I talked about it last night, and then boom, bang, pow, the Star Press talked about it. WLBC's talking about it. So once again, we here at a very non-news, journalist endeavor are breaking news, because we just don't have anyone here that does news. So that's that. Okay. Now, moving away from that and going back to the park board. That was the main part of that first part of the park board that I wanted you to hear. The rest of what happens in these 30 some minutes are important. There's people that are talking about what's going on with splash pads, and there's talk about the pools, and there's talk about the summer program for the kids that are working in the parks and doing all of that. And that is all very important. All very, 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 very important. That said, I was told specifically to either attend this meeting or to watch it live streamed live, and I would get something big. And I was more or less told that it was relating to Prairie Creek Reservoir. So that's the thing that I have been looking for. So I was going through this and looking for when we're going to be talking about Prairie Creek, bouncing around. So as I'm bouncing around, yes, I reached out to the mayor in Muncie. We'll get there. That's going to be in another segment. And everything's going well. So, okay, we're about to 24 minutes into the meeting. I'm like, what's going on? We're not hearing anything from Prairie Creek. Okay. So then we get to the part where I'm like, okay, we're finally going to hear something from Prairie Creek. I'm jumping you ahead. We're now to 31 minutes. Let's listen to this.
This group, and I'm going to forget their name now.
Washington
Yes.
made sure we had the park mowed in time to make sure they didn't have any high grass or anything.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye. Thank you.
Great.
All right, here we go. At 32 minutes and
This is the
20
second event or third event, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
32
Both-
minutes
The first
and
two both went
30
well.
seconds, we get into this. Nope, not yet, Megan. We'll get there here in a minute.
Next on the agenda, we've got the Prairie Creek report.
All right,
Mr.
Prairie Creek report. I was getting excited. I was thinking, okay, here comes the news. Here comes the news. Keep in mind, they held an executive meeting last week sometime, and I don't know anything about that. I've not got information from that meeting from sources. I need to reach out to a couple. I just haven't talked to them. But I did. This is what we've been waiting for. Okay. I was told you're going to want to watch this meeting for the Prairie Creek report. All right. Let's watch it.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
As you know, Tawny's off on medical leave, and then I've had some FMLA time off as well. But the mayor sent some people from his team to help out.
Now, FYI, this person that a lot of you might not know by visual, might not know her by seeing her. You're like, wait, who's this? This is Kelly McClellan, and she used to be the city's urban forester. When Dustin left Prairie Creek and became Dan Ridenour's pocket-sized grifter, personal grifter in the mayor's office, in the mayor's pocket, they put Kelly in charge of Prairie Creek doing what Dustin had done. They called her a working foreman. They also made her like the assistant superintendent of the parks. So she is directly under Carl. She's a mayor appointment directly under Carl. No, excuse me. She is not. I'm wrong. She is not a mayoral appointment. She was hired as the urban forester, and she is a paid position, not an appointed position, but she's technically in that second banana seat. So she's over things in all of the parks, but her main baby is the reservoir. And so she's getting up here and she's going to lay it into us and tell us what's going on here in the park, in the Prairie Creek Reservoir.
As you know, Tawny's off on medical leave, and then I've had some FMLA time off as well. But the mayor sent some people from his team to help out. We've greatly appreciated them. They really didn't want to take credit for what they've done, but I do have some of the projects they've done in the last 3 weeks.
Wait, what?
Dear Prudence is
wait,
one of
what?
the most beautiful.
And I normally wouldn't let something else pick up like that, but the point is, like, I was watching that, and that's what happened in the car. Like, I'm getting a story about the Beatles. I was like, wait a minute. What in the hell is going on here? Where is this deal with the Prairie Creek? The most important part. Why did it just shit out? What happened? So I'm like going crazy. I'm like texting the mayor. I'm texting the communications director. I'm sending messages out to people. I'm sending messages to the Parks Board president in live time. I'm messaging Kelly McClellan. I am going nuts and saying, yo, hello, we can't hear the big news. What's happening? So I quickly fired off That's crap. Ads making money over the meeting. What do you mean?
They've got their settings wrong. So it's throwing in ads in the middle of the meeting.
No, they didn't throw up a meeting. No, the meeting went off.
Isn't that an ad about the Beatles?
No, that was the next video in line. The meeting ended.
Oh, for God's sakes.
The meeting ended. The video ended. It's over.
Oh, I thought it was an ad.
Ended. No, I would
have
have been
happy
they
need to
with
make
that.
their, tenth of a penny.
I don't believe the city can have ads on. I don't believe they can monetize from this. That's something I need to check into. But that being said, no, they just cut off.
Oh, fantastic. That's
Just no more meeting
great.
during the most important part.
Well, thank you for clarifying that. I
Yep.
apologize.
I know, I appreciate you asking that. I know, I appreciate that. So yeah, no more meeting. Now, thank God I was right down the street. So I tear ass down to the city building. As I'm walking into the city building, I fire off a Facebook post and wrote, question for the City of Muncie, the City of Muncie Communications, Mayor Dan Ridenour, Communications Director Amber Green, and Contract Employee Mark Slusher. The live stream of the City of Muncie Parks Board meeting just cut out right in the middle of the most important part of the meeting. This kind of stuff is happening more and more, and it's extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. Could we look into this issue, like maybe work on stopping that crap from happening? And that's what I posted. Now, no one has responded back to me. Not the mayor, not the communications director, not contract grifter Mark Slusher. So now I'm like mad. My heart's beating. I'm running into this meeting. I get to the meeting. I start to go in, and I can't get in. I can't get into City Hall. Dunk, dunk, dunk. The doors are locked. The doors are locked. I'm starting to freak out. I'm pulling that. I tried to break it. I'm going to listen to me out there, City of Muncie. I tried to damage your doors. I tried to break the door at City Hall. I was going to break in. I was going to break in because I don't like the fact that there's a meeting that I'm being kept out of. It's a public meeting, and that's my building, and those are my meeting, and those are my people, and that's my door, and you have me locked out of my building. Now, thank God, just at that moment, there happened to be a police officer walking around, and she was outside, and I said, hey, the park board meeting's going on, and I can't get in. And she just looks at me. And I'm like, hey, can you let me in? And she's like, the doors are closed. And I was like, yeah, but there's a park boards meeting going on. I showed her that I was watching it live. I was like, I'm watching it live. And she just looks at me again. And I'm like, can you let me in? And it's like she was trying to wonder if I was like telling the truth, if I was going in there to plunder the building. I'm like, dude, you got a gun, you got some handcuffs, you know, you ought to be able to club me or shoot me if I get out of line. Open the door. I'm telling her like, hey, this is illegal. It's an open door violation. This is a problem. I need you to let me in. So she lets me in, and she's like, well, let's just go see if there's a meeting. And I'm like, yes, there is a freaking meeting. I'm watching it. And she's like, well, if you're watching it live, I'm sure they're in here. And I'm like, yeah, they are. So we walk our happy ass down to the council chambers, and she's like, what do you know? There is a meeting here. There is a meeting there. Okay, so I then am like freaking out. Okay. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, I realize that the Parks Board meeting is now back up and running. Now, in all fairness, this person wasn't like a door guard. It's after hours, so the building is closed. However, when there are meetings, the doors are open. They have to be open by law. Okay. So that's the situation. She's not like a guard of the door. She was a detective.
Execution of leases. And also,
she was a detective. So we find out that the park board door is open when she opens it up for me. Or excuse me, we find out that I don't know what I'm saying there. We find out that the park board is now back up and running, and it went on for another 29 minutes. However, let me show you what happens as soon as it gets back on. Okay, let me show you what happens here. So the park board meeting comes back on, and this is where we're at.
Execution of leases, and also regarding the state and federal regulations. In boating and docks, same verbiage added and closing of specific sections per resolution and compliance with public health and safety. Also in docks, or boating and docks, those following along up here is page 10 now.
Thank you.
Section D, or Section 4D, no lease transfers permitted. So yet again, that was similar to the campsites where we had lease transfers permitted for certain circumstances to specific individuals. This updates that no lease transfers.
Don't know what he's talking about, really. He's just saying words.
And then in the trails section, page 12, added the same verbiage in regard to closing of certain sections per resolution of the board. And then that also references and highlights to the ATV and equestrian
Stumblefoot.
So like I said, these came out of a recommendation from the legal team. There are some changes that will affect, like I highlighted, transfers will no longer be permitted under this, and it also opens up some opportunities for us to be in compliance with guidance from the water company.
Sounds
And
good.
it's like, wait, what?
Questions regarding-
What? We left out in the middle. We don't know what are we talking about here? What did we miss for the 12 minutes that the meeting wasn't up? Like, I like how I'm told to be here or be in attendance or watch the meeting, and I'm watching it, and they certainly cut everything gone. Okay, now let me tell you what happens here then. So I do make my way into the room and make my way to the podium to let them know that we got a problem. And this is what happens.
Any other public comment?
Kristopher Bilbrey, I just wanted to bring it to your attention that the feed cut out right before you guys started talking about the changes. So nobody that's watching has a clue what you guys are talking about. And the doors were locked. I about broke them off the hinges trying to get in. So this is a closed door meeting technically right now. No one can get in. So I thank God a police officer is out there or I wouldn't have got in. So you guys might want to do something about that because it's a serious issue.
Okay. So that's what I would let them know. Like, yo, I'm getting ready to break the door down. I've out how to break them off the hinges. I'm not joking. Like, I'm serious. So what the door does is it has like a magnetic thing. I'm like, I need in. And I'm going over that and over that and over that, and I'm making a big deal about it because what I want is like Mayor Ridenour or some dumbass in his administration to like be like, Bilbrey tried to break the doors, and send a police to talk to me, and me be like, oh, hey, I was trying to get into a public meeting. Like, it's not my fault. Those doors stick sometimes. I've been saying that since 2005. So for 20 years, I've been saying those doors stick, even when they're open. So I want to point your attention to what happens here, okay? So I leave, and what happens is...
Check with audio video, it sounds like.
They say, well, we checked with audio video, and it seems like everything's up and running. Okay. Cool. That's fantastic. Everything is up and running. Everything is great. Everything is wonderful. We're still missing 12 minutes. What was discussed during those 12 minutes? They discuss some important things. Okay. They discuss some important things here in this video, but I still have an issue with the 12 minutes. That's the problem. And the doors were locked. Now, I will say, Stumblefoot, you are spot on. Brad Marshall, it's really strange. I wish he would have won the District 4 council seat. He didn't work as hard as he needed to, and I really wish he would have. I like Brad. Brad is very responsive. He's very honest. He's very matter of fact. I like Brad. Brad's a good dude. I wish he would have. I wish he would have beat Sarah, but alas, he didn't. So here we are. He's on the Parks Board meeting. So I'm walking out of the building, and I hear them say, well, Mark Slusher says the feed is back up. So then I yell back in and say this.
We're back online. Mark, I guess if we've got any other issues, let me know, and we can adjust accordingly. All right. We're back up. All right.
Nobody knows what's going on.
I reached back in and said, but nobody knows what's going on. Now, this is the Park Board's meeting. In line with tonight's title of the episode, Rude, Ruder, and Rudest. Kind of think in your mind about Ridenour making that comment about that lady and everything going on. I want to call your attention to Carl here. Okay. I'm literally having a stroke maybe. What's his name? It's the basketball player. Karl Malone. Ding, 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 ding. Karl Malone. Why did I not know that? The postman of the Parks Department. Now look at him. He thinks it's funny. He thinks it's funny like no one's messenger's going off here. I'm the only one talking. What are you talking about? Yeah, you're going crazy. Look at him smiling. Look at him as I pause this. Watch. He thinks that's funny. Listen, these people are making me hate them. They're making me hate them. Jonah Hathaway says, Brad is best buds with Dustin and the mayor. Some refer to them as the three amigos. Trust me when I say you got it wrong on him. I don't know what that means. I don't have it wrong on him. I've not said like he's a superhero and he's saved my children and, you know, he's the best guy in the world and I want to marry him. I simply have said he answers my questions and he returns my phone calls and he is responsive. I'm not saying like he's the best person in the world. I'm just saying between people that refuse to respond to anything, and someone who will pick up the phone, I'm going to give the credit to the person that will pick up the phone. I'm not saying like he's the end all be all. I'm just saying that he has responded, and it's a thing that's like over years and years and years and years. That's all I'm saying. Like I other than that, I'm not speaking about any dealings with him or anyone else's dealings, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, Hathaway. I believe every word you're saying. I'm just saying, you know, and when he's responded to me, I've never caught him in a lie. I've never caught him in a lie. When you're talking about the standards are very low, Megan, I got in a fight with someone earlier on social media who literally told me that they do not care what this mayor does. This is what this guy said. I do not care what this mayor or his administration does, so long as he doesn't go to jail like the last mayor. And I'm like, that's insane. That is not an actual standard. So you mean this administration could completely flop everything up and make a complete mockery and joke of everything? And as long as he doesn't go to jail, then he's okay. Everything's A-okay in your mind. Big deal, he says. I don't really care what he does as long as he doesn't do what Mayor Tyler and his gang of losers did. I'm like, that is a crazy, crazy, crazy low bar. So you mean to tell me they could completely flop out on everything, completely go back on all campaign promises and be shit public servants, but as long as they don't go to jail, all is well? Damn, we could all be elected officials. Brad Gregory comes back and says, I understand you. I never agree with everything a politician does, but I'm glad he is mayor instead of Tyler. Chris, I thank you for the work you do for the citizens of Muncie. I appreciate it. So then we like hugged and make up because he let me know I'm a genius. So that's all that matters. I appreciate you out there, Brad Gregory. Keep it up. Anywho, Hathaway, I like Shannon. Shannon is I like Shannon Powers. I've got no problem with her. She's also pretty responsive and willing to communicate and yada yada yada. Okay, so now here is where we move from the City of Muncie Parks Board meeting. So we got a serious problem with the Parks Board meeting. I'm going to have to get with the mayor again and tell him, like, dude, I don't know who is locking this shit down, but you guys need to have everybody. It's like a cruise ship, okay? City Hall is like a cruise ship. And everybody that works there, from the captain of the boat to the plumbers, to the people cooking the food, to the entertainment, to you know, the whatever, all people in City Hall need to be there for the sole purpose of serving the public. The same thing that people on cruise ships do. They're there to serve the passengers. Have a good time. I don't know if I have a good time in city government, but I should at least expect service. And every single person that walks in that door and gets a paycheck and walks in and out should know the calendar for the meetings, and they should all make sure that the doors are never shut when there are meetings, because I'm telling you, next time I show up, I'm not going to break in. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to take a video of me not being able to get in, and we're going to have a major, major problem on our hands. So that needs to, yes, it's like, that's what I should have done. City Hall is like a cruise ship that is sinking. That's a good joke. Okay. So the rest of the park board meeting, I'm going to have to go back and watch it because there's things relating to Prairie Creek. But I'm letting you know there are some big changes coming to Prairie Creek. They are saying that they are doing away with the horses. The people out there thought that there was a little bit of talk and they might have some skin in the game and they might be able to get them to do something. They're doing away with the horses. Sounds like they're doing away with the ATVs. And I believe from what I'm hearing, they are shutting down the west side of the Prairie Creek land. They're shutting it down. So they're saying that August 1st. And I just read your comment in there. Thank you, Kate. That's very big. They're shutting down the west side of Prairie Creek. So we're going to have to find out what's going on. Brad Marshall was flipping through a page. I want to get my hands on what he was flipping through. And yeah, timing issues. No, it's not horse shit. Not horse shit anymore because there's no horses whatsoever, no ATVs. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And there wasn't a lot of people in this meeting tonight. Look at Carl's smug ass face. I want to know what is wrong with everybody in public service in Muncie. Why are they all a bunch of assholes? Like, I cannot stand this dude's smug face. There is no decision yet. There is no decision yet on the campsites, it sounds like. But I'm telling you, what I'm hearing from my sources is they're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Good evening, Danny. They're going to be doing a lot of stuff where the city is going to start proactively doing it in hopes that the water company will look favorable on them. Yeah, you're going to have to ride your Seabiscuit horse to Till Pond and then ride it around Till Pond, I guess. That's going to be a thing, I guess. Man, I tell you, when people start finding out what they're going to be doing, they're going to be going absolutely crazy. So, I don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out what they're going to do, because people, when you mess around with Prairie Creek, man, you're taking a lot in your own hands there, man. And they're doing away with the transfers. They're going to do away with the lottery system. That sounds familiar, Tweety Bird. Thinking back in the old noggin, that sounds familiar. So this deal with Prairie Creek is going to be a big deal, but I feel like no one is saying anything about it because nobody knows anything about it because there was 1, 2, 4 people there. You know what I mean? Like not a big deal. Megan, the interview for mayor will be as soon as you file in January of 2027. We got to get through the whole rest of this year and all of next year's election before the mayoral races. Sign up. We'll interview you. Possible launch fees for dock holders. Yeah, man, it's going to be real crazy. People are going to lose their heads over this. And then people at City Hall might just be losing their heads over this because, man, messing with Prairie Creek. Whew. That's just both political sides for the last 60 years have absolutely known you don't screw with Prairie Creek. You don't screw with Prairie Creek. So that's that. Okay. On from there, now we're going to be going into Mayor Dan Ridenour's comment from last night. So here's the thing. I've watched this so many times. And it's laughable. It makes me mad. I cannot stand to look at wretched Cheeseman. Forevermore, her name is no longer Gretchen Cheeseman. Her name is Wretched Cheeseman. Perfect, wonderful, easy. Wretched Cheeseman. Hose beast. Anything Wretched Cheeseman is real great. Alva, I looked into the deal with the redevelopment commission meeting. I don't think they should have taken a break. I don't think they should have taken the break. But I've reached out to a couple different people on the board, and nothing. It doesn't look good, but nothing. It doesn't look good. I don't know that anything nefarious happened. I might try to play that. I might try to play that bit tomorrow. I've just got too much going on, but I'll write that down. But I went back and watched it, and it's just a weird thing that they did. They were shutting down. They were shutting down doing work in a location, and it was questionable for some reason. But I just don't like. I don't like what they did. They shouldn't have done that. Timing issues. Hey, now stick around. I don't know. Have you heard this? So, is Gretchen's last name a married name? Yeah. Her name is Bookout. She's a Bookout person. And I don't know how she's connected to all that nonsense, but she married the Cheeseman person. And so, yeah, she's a monster, an absolute monster. Here's the sad thing. I think the stupid Bilbrey is lost to time because of how Facebook is now doing their videos. I don't think there's a copy out there of stupid Bilbrey anymore. I looked for it today. But I think it's gone to time because Facebook did a mass deleting. Something strange case happened at Kate's house. Anyways, so okay, on to this hot mic. So, for those of you that don't know, we can reenact it. So, yeah, right. I still have the stupid Bilbrey coffee mug. I love it. Oh yes, yeah. That's wild. So, here's the thing. In August or September of 2019, a woman that was sitting, so basically in 2011, a woman called Jennifer Quirk was elected to the Muncie City Council, and her husband moved out of city limits. And so she had to resign her seat at the beginning of 2019. And they caucused in a person to sit in her seat. So a person was caucused in to take over Quirk's spot. And that person was on the council for like quite some time. And then in August or September of 2019, they realized that she had a conflict of interest, and she could either continue sitting on the council or she could continue sitting on the Muncie Fire Merit Commission. She had to pick one or the other. And she picked, had timing issues. She picked to leave the council and to stay on the Merit Commission because her husband was a fireman, which is a whole nother story. So when she left, they caucused in a person who got on the seat, and he was crazy, did a whole bunch of crazy shit, showed up just in wild clothing. He was just a crazy person. But the problem was he was a convicted felon, and they never checked that out. Well, Audie Barber and him had a falling out. We checked, and lo and behold, he had a felony. So because he had a felony, he needed to resign his position. He should not have been up there. He didn't. He said he would not. So because of that, the council needed to vote to push him off. Well, at the time, the council was controlled by Democrats, and they were not going to do that. So then the Republicans needed to do something, and they wouldn't do it. Well, the Republican chairman said he would do something. Dan was running for mayor, and Dan had promised me in vocally and in text that if the Democrat Party didn't do anything to remove him, and if the Republican Party chairman didn't do anything to try to remove him, that Dan would call for a vote to have him removed on the council. And he said he would do that in October. And he didn't do that. He did not do that. And then at the next meeting, he said, okay, I'm going to do it. Well, the next meeting happened after the election. So on November 4th, Tuesday, November 4th, Dan was elected as a councilman. He was elected to be mayor. So he was mayor-elect, and he would take over the mayor's seat in a couple months in January. And I kept pushing him because the council meeting was going to be on Tuesday, November 12th. And I kept saying, you need to uphold your word. You need to uphold your word. Well, he kept trying to back out of it, saying, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not, I don't want to rock the boat. And I'm like, look, you ran on trying to clean government and do things better. This is your chance to start early. Well, he wouldn't do it, and I was throwing it up in his face. And finally, I posted and said, Dan said he would do this, and a couple of Dan addicts told me that I was a liar. So I shared our written communication, and I told Dan I was going to do it. So it wasn't like I outed him. Well, that made Dan mad. So during a break, during a meeting, he stood up and the mics were hot. And Dan stood up and said, I wish there was something we could do to shut this stupid Bilbrey up, which is just fantastic. I didn't hear it, of course, because I was at the meeting, but somebody at home messaged me, somebody I didn't even really like, I think, and said, hey, did you just hear Dan said stupid Bilbrey? And so it became a whole big thing. And so that was his first hot mic moment. Well, listen, and Stumblefoot, I agree with that. Because basically what it means is it's a felony, and if it's reduced to a misdemeanor, you're able to get your gun permits back. You're able to be a teacher. I agree. However, unfortunately, the law says this is the deal. So we have to follow the law. I don't like it, and it should be changed. And here's the thing. You can be a felon and run for national politics. You can run for president. You can run for senator as a felon. They just don't want you running for local office or state office as a felon, which is just totally insane. Totally insane. So that brings us up to Mr. Muncie Mayor Ridenour's. Well, and then here's the deal. That's the thing. You're right, and I agree, and I wouldn't fight that. But then what happened was that dude started doing all kinds of things that were extremely questionable. He was like flipping people off from the dais during meetings. He was trying to silence people. So it's like one thing if like the law's wrong and I don't agree with it, and we've got a couple months, we'll let it ride, whatever. If you're up here doing, good work. But he was an absolute terror during that situation. And so it's like, dude, if you're going to be this insane, we shouldn't be paying you. You shouldn't be receiving a check for this. He was ripping the citizens of Muncie off. People were calling him and texting him, like constituents were calling him and texting him and telling him to step down and resign. And he was like threatening them and telling them that, like cussing them out and just being really crazy and insane. It was nuts. It wasn't like a Hawaiian shirt. It was like a muumuu kind of. It was like a very like stoner like garb. I don't I don't really know how else to say what it was that he was wearing. It was very crazy. All of that, like, that seems like a freaking dream, man. Like like here's one of them. Here's one. It just popped up. Here, a lawyer says, I'm a lawyer. You're not eligible to serve. Resign. The councilman writes back to him, you're a prostitute. The attorney said, good point. Do you still do drugs? Deal drugs? And so it was just like he was just, it was total insanity what was going on at that time. And it was very, very, very weird. All of the things that were occurring in that period in Muncie was, oh, look. Okay, right here. Let's see. But yes. I was trying to think of what the name was actually. Let's see here. I don't know if this does the right thing or not. Stand by. Yeah, look.
coverage is brought to you by Lilly, a medicine company.
Wish TV is your education station. The Salvation Army of Central Indiana making sure kids are ready for school. It held a special
No, that's not it. Never mind. It's not going to do it for us. Well, all right, whatever. Anyways, that's that. So I want to get to now the actual situation from last night. So we were told to watch the City of Muncie unsafe building meetings. Now, for the people that said they couldn't hear this, I'm going to play this. I'm going to put this up here. I pulled it up, and I just have the audio of it. So I'm going to let you hear the audio of it loudly. And this is the July 10th unsafe building meeting. And you will hear the reading secretary, Courtney Walker, the reading secretary, will say, okay, next up, it numbers 34 or 33 and 34, and then she'll read off some addresses. And then after that, you will hear Mayor Ridenour under his breath say, "This lady drives me nuts." Here we go.
Next, we're going to call number 33 and 34, 1022 East Kirby and 426, 428 West Howard.
This lady drives me nuts.
Hello, Tierra Winters, 2523 Morningstar Drive, Indianapolis, Indiana, 469.
Next, we're going to call number 33 and 34, 1022 East Kirby and 426, 428 West Howard.
This lady drives me nuts. 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 This lady drives me nuts.
Next, we're going to call number 33 and 34, 1022 East Kirby and 426, 428 West Howard.
Okay, so you heard him say it plenty of times. There's no one that can say that's not Ridenour. It's clearly him. There's no way that they can say this is not him. This is someone else. That's what some of his people were trying to say during the stupid Bilbrey thing. It's crazy. They were pointing to all of these people. They were like, oh, it's this person or it's this person. I'm like, dude, this is absolutely crazy. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, here we are. Okay. But there's also a new thing that I heard too. So here we go. Here's the meeting.
A year and getting a building. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going to call number 33 and 34, 1022 East Kirby and 426, 428 West Howard.
This lady drives me nuts.
This lady drives me nuts. Okay, so they get into this, and they're just rude to her from the whole get-go. Everything is rude.
All right, let's start with 1022 East Kirby. What's going on here?
We don't have to watch all of this again, but I want you to hear this.
I thought we had agreed before not to do, but
listen to these sighs.
Put doors on it, put windows to make
Okay,
it. I mean, even
listen to her. So right here, she says, "I'm willing to paint, put doors on it," and you hear Dan again under his breath say, "Then do it." Listen here.
Are the taxes current?
Absolutely. I'm willing to paint it, put doors on it, put windows.
Then
to make
do
it
it.
look, I mean, even take the boards down and board it from the inside so that the neighborhood looks. As far as getting the electrical, put windows. Put windows. Put windows. Put windows. Put windows. To make it.
I just don't understand. Like I haven't liked Dan and a lot of things Dan has stood for and a lot of things that Dan's done as mayor. But I honestly thought he had more couth than this. I thought he had I thought that he had more understanding that these things don't look good. And so I sent this out to all of the city councilors. I sent this out to all of the city attorneys. I sent this out to everyone. And I'm telling them that I'm demanding that Ridenour apologize to this woman at the next meeting. I'm going to go to this meeting, and here's the other thing. They ask everybody for their address here, and so we're going to get into that little bit of an ordeal because I'm obviously there not to speak on a house. I'm there to speak about her houses, and I feel like she and others are not getting fair treatment. The point of the matter is that I feel like Dan fails to understand is he is speaking out about this woman before she steps up there. He's already predetermined that he does not like this woman. How in the hell does she stand, a fair chance? This proves that this system is rigged against her. And you can hear from Wretched Cheeseman sighing and her arm skin flapping that she's just crazy. Like, she hates this woman. She hates to be here. I don't understand why she doesn't just resign. She hates every bit of this. And I can understand her being the horrible psycho hose beast that she is. But this is even really low for Dan. This is really, really crazy that he would allow himself to get hung up this way. Now this makes me question, what does he say about literally every other person always ever? When and what does he say when he's talking about me, when he's talking about you, when he's talking about the other people that get up? What is he doing? What's going on there? Because I guarantee you it's nasty. It's just as nasty or nastier. I've heard from sources how he talks about people. How he talks about people he doesn't like, how he talks about Andrew Dale. I know the things that he calls Andrew Dale and others. There's not a whole lot. Oh, no, we can't, because they just now started recording these meetings because of the new law. They had never recorded these meetings ever before. So that's a very good question there, Megan. Damn, that's actually a really good question. But unfortunately, the answer is no, because the city of Muncie has not ever recorded these meetings in the past. They only started doing it because of the new law. So that's timing issues. Yeah, absolutely. You know he's saying that. So well, look, Dan's an asshole, Carl Malone's an asshole. They're just all gross people. And it's like everyone's like, well, that's what we got to live with. It is what it is. You know, there's nothing else that we can do about it. Okay. We're going a little long, and I'm going to get ready to wrap it up here. We got a couple more quick topics. We're going to speed through these here really quickly. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not just our people down here, and it's not just our people in Madison County or people in Henry County. It's a lot of these people which are just out of control. And I want you guys to listen to this article that just popped up from Grant County yesterday or today. This is from the Grant County newspaper, and this is it. I'm going to put it up here. You're not going to be able to see it, and I'm not even going to do that. It's up here. I'll post pictures of it, but timing issues. I will read it. You guys can. I'll post pictures of it on my social media. If you want to check out the pictures, you can go to my social media. Here, there's all the social medias. There's the YouTubes, the Rumbles, the Facebook, the 2 Facebook pages, the X. You can find it all there, so you can get that there if you're so inclined to do that. But I will read it to you here so you guys can get it. So it says courthouse conflict sparks state police investigation. So this is not a conflict that we've already talked about. This is not a conflict from months ago. This is not the conflict from where he headbutted a person or where he poked at people or where he was rude or crazy or nonsensical. This is a totally new issue. And I want you to listen to this. There's a guy called Ed Bounds that literally tells me, you're all wrong about polling. The polling and the other one, they're really good guys. You're wrong. You need to come on my program and I'll teach you a lesson. Let me just read you this. This aired today. This dropped today. Courthouse conflict sparks state police investigation. Commissioner polling escorted out by building security. The county commissioner had to be escorted out by security. Listen to this. A recent verbal confrontation between 2 Grant County elected officials at the Grant County Courthouse is now under investigation by the Indiana State Police. In a recent interview with the Chronicle Tribune, Grant County Clerk Pamela Harris said that a disagreement in early July with Commissioner Chuck Polling over where to move some office equipment resulted in Commissioner Polling yelling in Harris's face in front of her staff. It was totally insane, Harris said. According to Harris, Polling stopped by the clerk's office on the morning of July 1st and insisted that she move her equipment, documents, and copier from the 4th floor of the courthouse to the county complex building across the street. Harris said the commissioner had brought the maintenance director, Michael Simpson, with him. Harris claimed Commissioner Poling wanted to Harris claimed Commissioner wanted to referee hold on. I guess I don't get this. Harris claimed Commissioner Poling wanted to referee when requesting she moved her files and shredding to another location. She objected and told the commissioners the documents on her floor should not be moved because they contained personal and confidential information. Now listen, the elected clerk is the court clerk. They are responsible for keeping and maintaining confidential court records, and they are connected in with the courts. And this commissioner bowing up like this is totally insane. Harris explained to the commissioner that the files need to be secure. She said the documents and the equipment were then moved to the attic, which she explained could be problematic because of the humidity and lack of ventilation in that part of the building. According to Harris, after she raised some concerns over moving the copier across the street to the county complex building, Harris said Commissioner Poling stuck his finger in my face and began yelling. She said Commissioner Poling yelled and told her she would have to figure something out because it's the equipment getting moved, and it's getting moved today. Timing issues. Harris said the arguments escalated and the commissioner told her she needed to comply because I own these buildings, this nut job said. Harris responded by saying, you don't own these buildings. The people own these buildings. You are merely a caretaker of these buildings. Harris claims Commissioner Poling responded, I do own these buildings and I can have you put out on the street. What? She told Poling, you're stupid. I love this lady. You're stupid. You can't have me put out on the street. Harris said at this point, her staff closed the door and left the commissioner in the hallway, where he reportedly continued to yell. Harris said she instructed her staff to document what they had seen and heard. According to Harris, an officer from one of the courtrooms heard what was going on and called downstairs for security guard to come up and have Commissioner Poling and Simpson removed from the building. Listen to me. When a bailiff or a court guard, a jailer, or a sheriff's deputy, security from the courtroom hears this idiot out there yelling and has to call to have something done about it, that is a problem. Okay? Harris said Poling objected to leaving the building because he is a county commissioner. Harris claims Commissioner Poling was cursing and yelling as he was being led out. After Poling was escorted out of the building, staff accounts of the incident were sent to the Indiana State Police. Detective Robert Burgess from ISP Peru Post is handling the investigation. Harris has worked for the Grant County government since 2010 and began her career in the recorder's office. Harris said throughout her tenure, she has never had to deal with this kind of behavior or interaction with other elected leaders until this year. All these years, I've been a county government employee. I would go to conferences and they would talk about these awful relationships between either council or commissioners. And I would think, oh my word, we have such a wonderful atmosphere and working environment and relationship here, Harris said. She said the dynamic changed when Commissioner Poling and Commissioner Shane Middlesworth were elected in November of 2024. Both of them have said they are the most powerful men in the county and that these are their buildings and they can do whatever they want, Harris continued. After Poling was escorted... Wait a minute. Oh, okay. He continued. Harris said the county commissioners are no better than any other elected official. They are servants just like the rest of us, she added. The Chronicle Tribune reached out to the commissioner for comment regarding confrontation with Harris, but did not receive a response by press time. Okay, so I have also reached out to both Harris and the commissioner, and I have not heard back from either one of them, but I do believe that I will hear back from Harris. She talked to the paper. People that I'm talking to are saying that she will be willing to talk, that she has no problem with talking, that she's fed up with this, and that people are saying she's over it. So she will talk. I'm going to ask her or others that I have up there if they have cameras in the hallways. If they have cameras in the courthouse hallways, then I will absolutely get these videos. If they don't have cameras, then we won't be able to. But yeah, I mean, if I cannot believe it. It's totally insane. This guy is ludicrous. And keep in mind, this man actually headbutted another county employee several years ago. He got he received an arrest, and he received a felony for it. And it all had to be reduced and all that taken care of. And I think he got it expunged or whatever. That's how he was able to run. That's what I've heard from folks in Grant County. But all of this stuff is insane. This is not how people should behave. I'm telling people that I'm talking to, they need to start recording this stuff. And there might be some video footage on cell phones from this. I have to find out. I haven't heard that yet, but a couple people said that if there were people that were going to do that, they would have been around that area. So I'm going to find that out. I'm also going to find out about the hallways. I'm going to do that tomorrow, and we will hopefully get an answer back. But this is insane. It's totally crazy that we would have this man acting this way. And you know what? It's the fourth individual that he's done this to, and it just so happens to be it's the fourth woman that he's done this to. I want to know if this guy is trying to take over for Andy Kaufman being the intergender women's world heavyweight champion of the world, taking on all of these women. I tell you, he's going to come up against a woman that's going to punch him in the teeth, and that will be the day. That'll be the day. Because I don't know. And it's funny to me that he only does this to women because he knows if he tried this shit with a man, it probably wouldn't work so well for him. It's what people do. It's what people tolerate. What blows my mind. Why do people keep reelecting these abusive people? Well, yeah. Well, and here's what is really crazy to me. And that is that he has been a counselor, and apparently while he was counselor, he was docile. None of this happened. He said he didn't do anything like this. But once he became commissioner, and once his little boyfriend, Shane Middlesworth, became commissioner, they were the double trouble duo, and they're out causing all kinds of chaos. Yes, sounds a lot like something Gardner would do. I'll tell you, it sounds a lot like something Richwine would do. Richwine's hot-headed like that, and I could see him acting a fool like that too. Gardner and Richwine are both two people that, you know, I keep my eye on. It's exactly true. Not 100% sure what you're referring to there. It seems like sending death threats is legal in Delaware County. You'll have to fill me in. That probably would be me if I lived there. Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, so, yeah, Anderson has idiots too. Well, it just comes into the deal with I had with them, and getting mouthy with Dick Sims over how he treated Rebecca. So it's just crazy that these people act the way they do. And I have to wonder, I have to wonder, like, where he thinks he's going with this, because I don't care if he's stupid. I mean, I know he's stupid. I know he is stupid. But he knows that they don't have any say-so over any other elected official. He knows they're all on the same level. Like, it floors me, these people who actually think this. This is like the corruption thing. This is what's corruption. Is that I think that it's not even that he knows they don't have any more power than the clerk in this case, but he thinks that his connection with Shane and their good old boy system is going to somehow work this. I truly believe in his heart of hearts, he believes it when he says, I can put you out on the streets. I think. Yes, that's right. That is absolutely right, Stumblefoot. Absolutely. So, you know, we have to play along with these people from Grant County a little bit more. It's such a far way up there. It's a pain in the ass, but I need to interject myself among these people a little bit more frequent than I have. And so I'm hoping the people of Grant County are hearing this. I shared this in a couple places in Grant County. I hope they listen to this. We're not done looking into Grant County. I've still got some record requests that we're waiting for from them. And I'm still talking to people and still looking into things. And then this pops out. So I'm trying to get a hold of both Commissioner Polling, which I'm sure he won't talk, but I don't know. He kind of seems like he's just egotistical enough that he will do that. You know, it seems like he's just egotistical enough that he'd be like, yeah, I'll talk to you. You know, so hopefully that happens. But I'm also going to get a hold of Pam Harrison, and I'm going to reach out to other people, because I guarantee you he's doing this to others and they haven't came forward. We know of like 4 or 5. I guarantee you there's more. And I will definitely be looking into if the hallway has video recording, because if that's the case, we will have copies of this. I just think it's hilarious that they escorted him out and he didn't like it. That's how he should have known that his power means exactly dick, that he literally got escorted out of that building that he thinks he owns. I would have been like, so you were saying You were saying? I don't know. Okay. Jamuki, which great name. Are you saying that area is recorded? Stumblefoot. If that's what you're saying, then I will absolutely issue a record request tomorrow. All right. I love it. I love hearing that. Love it when a plan comes together. It's my island. Yeah. So we will definitely get those recordings. I guarantee you they're going to be pissy about it. We'll see what happens. I guarantee you they'll pull some kind of stunt. Oh man, this could be the fight with Grant County. So I don't know. We'll look into what goes on there. Oh, that might be a problem too, Catherine. But hell, even if they don't have sound, we'll be able to see him being animated because he's a real little guy. He's one of those people that's real little guy, and I guarantee you he's animated. Yeah, Admiral Eric, that is correct, sir. That's correct. So, okay. Before we wrap it up, I do want to talk about the situation with Winchester and Winchester City Council. I was going to talk about Winchester City Council behind the scenes, but we'll do that on another episode. Basically, what that was reference to. Admiral Eric turned me on to a couple of recordings from the Winchester City Council from back some time ago, where apparently there were not many people in the audience, but the people in the room was just like the mayor and the city attorney and the council members and the clerk, and they were arguing about a couple of different things. And these arguments were like crazy shit that we just really don't get a good view of from these people because they normally don't do that. They like to keep all of that internal. But this argument went on and on and on. And it was back when Lisa was still a counselor there, and one of the council members is like giving her hell for not being there, and the city clerk is yelling at the council members, and you've got Bob yelling at the council and a couple council members fighting back and forth and a couple council members fighting with Bob. They were really just having a total shit show for everybody, but nobody was there. But it's on audio recording and we have it. So we will take a look at that a little bit later on, maybe into next week. That ties in with, we are really close. Monday, the 21st of July, Winchester City Council will meet. I will be there. We will find out what's going on with this private property. Are they going to try to go on this man's land? Are they going to trespass? Are they going to go there without any reason, without any warrant, without any just cause? Are they going to attempt to tear down his property? And if so, they're going to go through me because I'm going to be there. I'm going to be chained to the property. I'm going to be chained to the fence. And we'll make a spectacle of it because I'm not going to let them do this. They're going to have to take me away in order to chop this property down because I think this is a total overreach of government. It's gross. It's nuts. And so we'll just have to see. But that'll be Monday the 21st. So we'll probably take a look as we get closer and see about playing those meetings with that as well. So that's coming up. Yeah, without a judge's signature. Yeah, I don't know what's up with you people. Well, the problem is you got a lot of people that are watching on most of our views, and most of our listens don't even come from YouTube. Most of them come from other places. So that's the problem. It's not always, it's hard. You know, we are so diversified where we are that all of our views together and all of our likes together is what helps us out. So if you're out there, hit the like button before Catherine comes and gets you. Tomorrow is the 16th. Board of Works. Grant County Council. Ooh. Thursday is the Muncie MRC meeting, and we're getting ready to be coming right along here for the next Anderson MRC meeting. So we got a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We still have a lot of stuff that I'm working on that I'm just right on the line of being able to talk about or discuss, but I'm waiting on a few pieces here or there to pop back into place. And something that we haven't brought up in a long while, and that's the deal with Ed and the Ed houses and Chad Malacote. I think we might be getting ready to have some more discussion about that. So just because it's been a minute doesn't mean anything. I've got a book and a whiteboard, and we keep all these things written down and on check of everything. So just because we don't talk about these things, they're not going anywhere. And we're just waiting for things to fall into place. You know, sometimes it might take 6 months, a year before I can finally get something to fit for us to be able to fully discuss what I want to. So keep that in mind. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. God bless each and every one of you. Take care. Have a great, 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 great Wednesday. We will see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. As always, be sure to smash that like button before you leave. Share the show with everyone you know. If you want to follow us, there's how you follow us and get that information. That would be very helpful, and it will be good for you because you'll know how to do. You'll know what we're going to talk about. You'll see the pictures and all that stuff. So follow us there, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Good night. God bless.